Hello. I can't get this lighting right because it's night and this is a bright ass light. So I took one light bulb and we're just gonna get what we get. I haven't done a YouTube video in a very long time. I'm having allergies. I don't do cocaine. I've never done cocaine in my life, though I am sure between my small bladder and my allergies, as often as I go to the bathroom and as much as I rub on my nose, that when I was hanging out with music industry folks that they assumed that I was doing coke. I'm much more of a square than you think I am. Anywho, I thought I would try this as a form of expression as I am trying to stay off IG, though I am going to tell you about this video on IG. So I'm not dumb. But I have a lot of things to ramble about. But yeah, I'm having really bad allergies because I've been cleaning my closet all day. And I was gonna like try and get a little cuter or put on even a lick of makeup or get the perfect lighting or change my shirt or some shit to make this video cute. But honestly, that's why I never really got into YouTube, because the assumption of editing the videos or making them good and having it be dolled up, that's just not my real life anymore. And honestly, if you look at my YouTube videos, they're almost never dolled up. And I wasn't doing them. I was doing them sort of similar to this, where I had too much to say on the old days with IG, where there were no 1 minute videos and there were no IG stories. So it was just like, where do I put myself talking? So I haven't probably made a YouTube video in 2 or 3 years. But it was never to be a YouTube star, because I just couldn't do the shit that I think that is required of you to do that. But I've been wanting to play around with this. So here we go. Part of the reason I wanted to make this into a video was just for my own documentation. I went into the garage today. I cleaned out my closet today. And that's just a really big part of my story. There's a lot of like information there for me that I want to share and document. And so as I was doing it, little like aha things were going off, and I was thinking like, I got to journal about this. And I was like, or I could just make a video, and then I was like, I could just share it. So, but unrelated to any of the shit that I'm about to tell you about, I was just cleaning, waiting for, so it's grandma's birthday was yesterday, and she turned 97. She's the Energizer Bunny, man. She just keeps going and going. And so I have family in town, and it's been a little bit overwhelming and just having people here all the time for like the last 48 hours. So this is the first moment that I've had alone. My uncle, who's staying here, is out to dinner. Hakim just left for a run. So I'm happy to have this little moment. What the fuck did that have to do with anything? Oh, right. I was waiting for Hakim to leave. So I was waiting for Hakim to leave to go on his run to film this video, because I just need a moment of silence. And I was like, diddling, cleaning up in my room. That's not a thing. That doesn't even sound like a thing. I'm never going to repeat those words. I don't know where they came from. Is someone here? Like, can I just have 5 fucking minutes? So, I'm cleaning up, waiting to do this video, and I found something. I'm going to be very vague, but I found something that triggered a thought about, I'm trying not to use triggered so much. It's just so in my vocabulary. As someone who has trauma and some PTSD, fuck, there's my uncle. Hello? Okay, coming now. Bye. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I might pause this and come back. I might just call it a fucking day. Sad face. There's no pause. I'm doing this shit on my computer. This is real life. If you look at my first YouTube video ever, it's called Fuck Perfect, and this is why, because real life is not perfect. All right, we're going to try this again. He's here. He's in the living room reading. Sometimes I feel like I have a big house, and sometimes I feel like I have a really small house when there's nowhere to go. But what that reminds me of is something that I thought I would share that I've realized in this time off of IG, which is when I was at my peak posting daily, writing long confessions every night, I lived alone. I was, a single mom with a kid on my lap, on, in the bed with me. I was dating, but I didn't have anybody living in my house. And now I have somebody who's here every night, which is a blessing. But, often I get the urge to share or process my day or articulate some deep thought I had. And I have to choose between, do I get on my computer and write it up? Do I hop on IG and share it with you? Or do I hang out with my man and my kid? And most of the time in the last year or two has been hang out with my man and my kid. And therefore, I don't really, I often found myself like forcing myself to share stuff on IG, like, oh, I should post something, or this would be a good post, so let me find the time to write about it. And then I would be on it more, he would be on it more. Pancake is moving my little desk. So, this is just a reminder. Like, the other thing is when someone is here, like near me, I can't really do IG stories when people are listening. So I'm attempting to do this knowing that I have an uncle somewhere nearby. We'll see how it goes. I may or may not share this shit. It's a little too unperfect, but I know since no one is perfect in real life, especially not all those YouTubers, but even more so you regular folks, that maybe you find comfort in how regular my shit is and how the doorbell rings and the light bulb is bright and my eyes are red, etc. All right, so I was going through these things in my room, right? Waiting for Hakim to leave for this 5-minute fucking window that I got. What's tomorrow, man? I just need to be alone. My spirit is really needing that. And one of the biggest gifts that I feel like this year has given me, slowing down and listening and noticing, which is pretty much the basis of the Getting Free program. And since I teach it, I have to live it, is I notice everything now about my mental health, about how I feel about certain foods, how I feel about certain people. Like it's a quick, you know how when you do those elimination diets and then you like add a little thing back in and you can see if your body has an allergic reaction, for all you food allergy folks. That's sort of how this year has been, where I've gotten it so cleared out that when anyone comes back in or anything comes back in, I can notice really easily the impact that it has on me. So I am noticing in my body right now that I have the desire to be alone. Anywho, so I'm cleaning up in the room, waiting for Hakim to go on the run. And I saw something that reminded me of something else that, is a wound. And I thought there was some like work to do around it. And not in that moment, but just like, this reminds me of a thing that isn't healed. And I got like nervous a little bit, like, if I really went into that, not just like peeked in it, but really went in, that shit would fuck me up. Like, it would be really hard. But then I was like, would it fuck me up? Like, could I handle it? And sometimes you don't know until you do it, right? But part of me felt like it's important to go all the way in sometimes and to know, by noticing yourself and your mental health and your patterns and shit, where you're at, know when to go in. And I'm in a really good place right now. And so I wouldn't go in a place where I felt unstable or my mind felt very full. But at a time where I'm feeling good, and not to torture myself, like, oh, I'm feeling good, let me find some shit to work on, which I do have a tendency to do, so maybe that is what I'm doing. But that's a good time to do some healing work and some deep diving healing work. Like, could I spend a day leaning into that thing and really falling apart around it, letting myself have a little mini, like, real breakdown sort of to break through? Do I trust my psyche and my spirit enough to go into the dark? And honestly, that's part of what I've done this year. I knew getting off IG and not shopping and really just allowing some sort of silence and some space was a risky move for me, but I also knew it was something I really needed to do, and that there was some healing work that I needed to do that I couldn't do with so many eyes on me. So that was a powerful thought that I thought I would share that has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm going to talk to you about. So you may or may not know, depending on who you are, that I was a stylist. Before I was a stylist, I was a model, a plus size model back when it sucked. Before I was a plus size model, I was just a stylish girl. I won best looking in middle school. I mean, yeah, I did win best looking, but I won best looking and best dressed and prettiest eyes. Stupid ass categories that really did more harm than they did help. Um, and so I have, and I just today, like, really, I had the urge to like confess this. I'm not going to say hoarders like the television show, but I come from a line of something else, right? That's like it is a behavioral thing of over consuming and keeping everything and like just, lots of stuff. And I've known that for 10 or 15 years that it was a problem. But especially since my divorce and moving and sort of starting over and having a child and getting free, this part of what the getting free is for me, is continuously sort of taking away things, um, and simplifying, which is I never would have admitted to because I consider myself, especially from a style perspective, sort of a maximalist. I don't like the look of all these, what do they call them? I don't even know what this genre of style folks are, but the people who do capsule collections and shit, right? Who wear like all these monochrome looks and linen and shit. It's just not my style. I tried a capsule collection this summer. It was not fun. But I am interested in, minimalism as an idea and a value system, not necessarily as the aesthetic. So all of that is to say, I just have to really come to terms with, and I'm going to write and talk about sort of my journey from like this addiction of stuff, to where I am now and where I continue to be. And I think what sort of like hit me a little bit today is I was down in my garage, because my uncle was here and he was getting some furniture from grandma's. We're starting to sort of disseminate some of her things. And I spent a lot of money and time this summer on the garage, and it's still completely full. Way better than it was, but still completely full. And I just was like, man, you gotta have a lot of shit to get rid of so much and still have this much left. Like, if you know me in real life, I've probably had 20 yard sales in the last 5 years, 10 years. And they're always huge. And it's just like, how do you have that much stuff to constantly sell? So it's some shit there that I'm constantly learning about and unpacking about that as a crutch for me. And that's why I did no shopping this year, which is not the point of this video, though I will continue to share about that. So many things to talk about. This could easily be an hour-long video, and I would let it be, but I don't have that much time alone. So I just want to share a few things. Honestly, I had a whole my brain was doing this. It was like, and then that happened. Ooh, that's like, I love when sort of the dots connect. And I think that that's really my brain. I don't think it's actually my day. I think it's how I experience my day. Like, the magic of things is inside of me, if that makes any sense. It's not that the things that were happening were necessarily so magical as much as my perception of the things. So, yeah, there's so much backstory that I'm basically going to skip over. That would have been a really good video, but I'm going to get to sort of the end punchline, which is I ended up, cleaning my closet. Bought some new bins and things and going through things. And again, just like so much stuff in there. And also some stuff is grandma's. And I have a particular weak spot for things that are sentimental and have sentimental value. And so the first thing that I pulled out was this purse that I vividly remember her wearing in my childhood. It's leather and it has like two flaps. It's broken. And then it has this leather strap, right? And it just was so fly. And she had this leather string that would come out of it that had her keys on it. And so this is broken. Oh, it smells so good. It's broken. It needs to be glued. And honestly, it might even be like a weird, maybe it's a crossbody or it's probably twisted. Anywho, I'm getting rid of things, right? So that's the other thing that I find interesting is you just, and I'm sure it has something to do with either astrological cycles or your menstrual cycle. But there's some times when I'm just like, get rid of all of it. I don't fucking care. So maybe going into the garage like activated that for me. But then when I was in my closet and my bathroom, I kind of did a quick thing in my bathroom. I was going through, I went to Ross and got some more baskets. I am a basket hoarder, but I do believe in them as a really successful tool for organizing and storage. So I needed some stuff from the bathroom, and I went to get some just small little baskets for the shampoos and for the toothbrushes for Raider stuff. And so I'm cleaning out the bathroom, and all these products that are like expensive products. I get a lot of expensive skincare. It's a very hard life from Hakim because he works in health and wellness. And so there were just things that were a lot of stuff that was like half used. Like I kind of liked, and I was so quickly with no reservation, just like toss, 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 half done candles, blah. Only keep the things I love. And I just thought that was so fucking easy. Like there was no pause of like, well, this sort of, whatever. So those are my favorite time to clean up because it doesn't take as long. I'm just like, no, you never wear that. Get rid of that. That doesn't smell that good, whatever. So I'm in the closet now and I'm going through stuff and I really culled through. So I don't have a ton of stuff to like get rid of. This was more about organizing the closet and all these bags. So I have this bag problem and I was going to hop on and ask you all, where do you do with like your big bags? Like I have a lot of weekender bags, right? And like just big purses because that's how I roll. Not as much anymore. The crossbody and the return of the fanny pack have been a lifesaver for me, but I have historically been a big ass bag bitch. And so I have a lot of them, including this one, which you will find funny, that is an old ass Gucci bag that again is broken because I had two and I sold the other one, but the hardware was missing a little bit on both of them. So I consolidated the hardware to the other one, sold it, and now I just have this bucket Gucci with a broke strap. So this was how I was rolling in the 9 quad. I said that on Instagram yesterday if you were listening. Yes, in 94, no really this was probably the 2000s because some dude bought me this. But so lots of bags like that. So I went and got some bins to just like stack them in the bin and store them because the truth is I don't wear them that much and they take up a lot of room in my closet. So I'm going through the bags. I've got grandma's bag and like I can't get rid of that. Like I want to get that fixed. I love that bag. It reminds me of her and my childhood and it's just like at least I want to try and see if I can get it fixed. Historically, I'm not the type of person who gets shit fixed. So if it doesn't work, if it's got a hole in it, I just let it go. Pancake is laying on my other pile of things to show you. So then the next thing that I found of interest was this purple Carlos Falchi bag. Between my grandmother and my mother, there's probably 15 Carlos Falchi bags. I've given some to friends, but some I keep. Purple is an interesting color. Anyways, inside of it, I'm always clearing out my bags, hoping that I find some fucking lip gloss or some earrings that I haven't seen in a long time. Anyways, I found this love necklace, which I think is a knockoff. I can't remember what brand had come out with this, and I don't even know if this was mine or if I ever wore it. But it's cute, and I love finding shit, especially right now when I'm not shopping, because it feels new. So I bought this in the closet today. Grandma's purple Carlos Falchi bag, her brown leather bag, my Gucci bag, and then thinking of sentimental things, Pancake is sitting on top of them, and she looks so comfy. Sorry, baby. But my grandmother traveled the world. So she has all these amazing bags. Don't tell any of my sisters or aunts or anybody, but I'm keeping all these. These amazing bags that are like printed from all over the world. Oh shit, what's in here? Oh, just a receipt. I thought this was one of those photo strips. I was about to be like, oh dear. So this is 9/28, which soon, that's the day before my birthday, 04. So that's 16 years ago. Anyway, so Grandma has this bag. Pancake just got back on the others. Get up, baby. She has this one, which is like a shoulder bag. Same, like, bomb print, right? So good. What? And then here's another one I remember her having, which is so seen better days, but it's so great. Like, and so, yeah, she's kind of a hoarder and a collector too, right? And so is my mother. And so going through her stuff, I have to decide just, you know, you have a lot of good stuff. This is why my eyes are itching, because these bags are dusty as fuck. When you have a lot of good stuff, even if it's sentimental, some of that shit you got to get rid of. Sorry, Pancake, I moved the bags. Now they're not as comfy. And then at the back of the closet, and I'm gonna wrap the video up with these, and I have not read them yet. So if they're hella problematic, I'm gonna, oh, speaking of problematic, a funny thought. She has so many of those types of bags. Old me would have been like, ooh, I could sell these. I could start an eBay shop. These are the type of ethnic bags that problematic white women buy on their travels and bring back and sell on eBay. So if that's you, or if you've thought of those things, just consider and Google. There's lots of things written on that type of thing. But my general philosophy is buy it, support local artists in your travels, but don't bring them back and hike the price up and charge them, you know, sell them to people in America. That's whack. So, this is another kind of problematic. These are letters from 1991, which means I was 10 years old because they are written in January. So I have not read them yet, but I just found them, literally a stack of papers like this on the back of my closet. And I'm going to end with a story about how finding things like this have changed my life. But here we are. The cutest thing, this is why I was like, I have to read this. It says, life. It's written to life, comma. Today I went to Irisna's house. We had fun. Can't talk. Good night. Irisna is one of my closest friends to this day. Life, January 21st, 1991. Today I woke up at Siobhan's house. That's my neighbor who no longer lives there. Surprised to see no one else was in the room. She had slept with her sister today. I went with Willie and Celia, that was my boyfriend at the time, to go to a Martin Luther King Jr. rally. I miss Willie. That's all I can think of. He said he might be getting back with his old girlfriend. And for my sake, I hope he doesn't, because I love him. Should I make a move before it's too late? This is classic Melinda. So if you really want to know me, and I'm going to write books about all this shit, one about style, one about love, and all the shit in my life. But I have, no joke, been in love since preschool. And I have journals to prove all of it. And it's really some kind of deep, heavy, beautiful shit. So there's going to be a lot of I love so-and-so in here. Remember, I'm 10. Should I make a move before it's too late? Twist, Willie was my first kiss. So apparently I made a move. Good night. Life, January 22nd. I was being really disciplined here. I guess I didn't mention it, but I met 4 guys at Kinko's. Yeah, see, it's sad. I'm 10. I met 4 guys at Kinko's, our local Xerox store, and they said I was sexy. They looked nice, so I gave them my phone number. They have been calling me ever since. I love Willie, and I don't know if I should say back off, even though they really like me, and Willie either doesn't or secretly does. Today, Ian broke up with Celia. So Willie and Ian were brothers, and Ian was my sister's boyfriend. That's how I met Willie. He broke up with my sister, the son of a bitch. Celia really loved him. They were perfect for each other. Celia deserves better than that. Today, all I could think about was Willie, 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 except for when, I didn't say this, but that's funny, except for when I gave my phone number to the guys. Except for when I got presents from Garfield one of the guys I met. Oh, I remember Garfield. But presents? Then I was thinking of him. But then I realized I don't know Garfield. I know Willie, and Willie's what I want. Had a good day at school. I'm going to need to do the math again. In January 1991, I was born in 1980. So 90, I would be 10. And September of 91, I would be 11. So I am 10 fucking years old here. This shit is not okay. But it's just who I was. So there's that. Life. Today I woke up at 7:03 a.m. January 23rd, 1991. Miss Steinmetz, my 5th grade teacher, who I did not like, put my name on the board and said, what? And I said, what did I do? And she said nothing, but I still got my name on the board. Classic 5th grade problems. At least something about my life was normal. I called Willie. I asked if he wanted to come over, and he said maybe. I wanted to know if I should make a move. What the fuck? But if I don't, his other girlfriend will get him. Ian said I should wait. The fuck am I listening to Ian? My sister's boyfriend that dumped him? Life. January 24th, 1991. Today, I woke up at 7:02 a.m. I went to school and stayed and helped Miss Ramsey with the little kids. That was my kindergarten teacher. Everyone thought I ditched, but I didn't. By the time it was lunch, a girl came up to me and asked me if I wanted to go with Elliot. I think Elliot was, I don't know who the fuck Elliot was. I think I do remember, but it says, I love Willie, but Garfield likes me. And Elliot, I just don't know what to say. Willie and Emma are coming over on Saturday. So Emma was Willie's sister, who was my best friend. Well, at least Emma, but I think Willie would much rather go see Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love Willie, and my horoscope says that in my love life, at least I got that shit right at 10, I should make a step while I can, and that's tomorrow. I'm going to call him. I'm afraid if I make a move, he won't like me, and if I don't, his other girlfriend will get him. This is some bullshit. Girl, what would you tell your 10-year-old self? That's the name of my book. Life, January 20th, 1991. These are out of order. Today I went to, Siobhan's. Okay. And we went to the swap meet. This is a different day. I got 2 t-shirts and a pair of earrings. Hey, see? Swap meet, horoscopes, love, some shit don't change. We went home and played Life and Uno, had El Pollo Loco for dinner, and Mom and Dad went out. That's all the time I've just been thinking about Willie. So those are my letters that I found in the back of my closet that I don't know when the last time I've seen those or read those, and I have hundreds and hundreds of those from throughout my life. Fun fact, or a quick story, and then I will end here. I was in a relationship in college. He wasn't in college, but I was in college. And we lived together. And no shade to him if he's watching this, but I highly doubt it. Probably doesn't have social media. But, he was not a good fit. He wasn't a go-getter. He worked at Staples, which was fine. But, I had graduated from UCLA. We had been together for a really long time, since I was, right after high school. So I met him the summer before college. I was with him all of college. We lived together. We played house. He had a son. So, again, at 10, I'm in love and meeting guys at Kinko's, and they think I'm sexy at 10. And at 17, I'm basically living with a dude, taking care of his baby. And so, fast forward 4 years, and I'm just not happy. I'm teaching. I started teaching right out of college, 4th grade, which my baby is in now, and it's my favorite age. I love 4th graders so much. So I'm teaching, and I'm just not happy with him. I feel like my world is expanding and his is still very small. And we lived in this dope ass 2-bedroom down the street from here. I've been a mid-city girl most of my life. And we live in this apartment, and I have my own bedroom, right? Because I had too much shit. So the only way I could really live with someone is if I had my own space. So I have my own bedroom with all of this stuff in it, right? And just like tonight, I'm catching one of those waves where I want to clean shit up. And so I clean um, my closet out. Now, mind you, I have kept every card and letter like this for my entire life. I've never thrown anything of sentimental value away. Photos, journals, letters, birthday cards, never. I have them all. So I'm sitting in my closet sorting through mainly papers and cards and stuff. And I find a box of cards from my high school graduation. And I'm reading through all these cards from my friends and family about like how I'm about to change the world and, you know, go to college and be, you know, this change maker and how amazing I am and brilliant. Like just so sweet, right? The things you say to people on their birthday or when they graduate. And I'm like sick to my stomach in this in the closet. Like, this isn't my person. This person in this card, I don't feel like her, because in my mind at the time, the relationship, it just doesn't fit. Like, it's not encouraging that fire inside of me and that drive, because he didn't have any. And I had always wanted to go to NYU, and I didn't go for undergrad because it was too expensive for 4 years. And so I was like, you know, maybe I'll go for grad school one day. And that was sort of my plan. And when I was with him and we were basically like married, living together, it was like, am I going to move to New York now with him and his kid that I'm taking care of? And so I put that dream away. And I just was sitting in the closet like, fuck that. That's what I want to do. Like, I want to go to New York and like live a big ass life. And this relationship is not conducive to that. And I have to break up with him. And I was I was sobbing and just nauseous for like weeks. And I remember telling my girlfriend, Natam, if you're out watching this, that I taught with, that I had to figure out how to get out of the relationship. And that I knew it was going to blindside him. And I would be sick at work, and she was like, you have to tell him, like, it's literally making you sick. But it was the equivalent in my world of like getting a divorce. And so this is a strategy I would it's probably unhealthy, but it works. Oh shit, when you want to break up, men probably use it all the time. We just wait until you have a fight and then just make a big ass deal about it, which is what I did. I just let the fight like grow and grow and was just like, I can't do this anymore. And he was like, what the fuck? Totally uncool in retrospect, but we were not great communicators. And he was a good guy, and I felt bad, but it just like there was nothing he could say to talk me out of it. I had to go. And I basically said, like, I want to move to New York and I want to go to grad school. And I've been with you for 5 years now. And I just don't think we want the same things. Like, he never left the country, didn't want to leave the country, didn't want to get another job. Like, Staples was his life plan. And I just was like, how is that going to work? And so we broke up. And I lived there for like a month while we figured out another roommate situation. And then I moved in my parents' back house to save money for New York, and I applied for grad school and I ended up moving to New York, which changed the course of my life and my identity greatly. And I got to live out my wildest dreams and be a hoe and study in the city that I love. So maybe it's hoarding. Maybe it's a collection of reminders of your story and who you are when sometimes you forget. And I will continue to physically unpack the garage and my stuff, but more importantly, emotionally unpack the really heavy reality that Um, I was fast. I was a fast girl, and I've been saying for a while that I want to have some workshops around that because I know I'm not alone, and I don't even know where to start in terms of, where it came from. Um, but to hear myself say that at 10 years old, knowing that Raider is 9, and I can feel her, I can feel my 10-year-old self being nothing like my 9-year-old son. Like, I was an adult woman in my mind writing that. Um, about making moves and meeting men at Kinko's, and I mean, they were teenagers, it wasn't men, but I had my fair share of meeting men. So lots to unpack there. Um, if you are that type of person, um, I would love to eventually gather in some kind of online space to just unpack some of that shit together because it's deep as fuck, especially as the Me Too movement came out. I was like, hold up. All that shit is not okay. I didn't even know, literally, at 35, 36 years old, that a lot of my experiences in my life were really, basically like sexual trauma. And I didn't think I had that. I thought I had, trauma from abuse. But turns out, since a long time ago, yeah, just a lot of sexual harassment my entire life and a lot of situations that I think um, came and grew out of that fear and that experience very young. So again, lots to unpack there. Um, Maybe I'll come up with some clever thing about unpacking the layers and shit. When I did my book tour, I did have bracelets that said unpack. But the garage project is filled with this. I have 20 boxes of shit from every decade of my life, and all the boyfriends and all the husbands and all the degrees and friends and clothes. So hence why I chose to put it on video so I could document this. I fantasized once about meeting someone who was a videographer who wanted to come videotape me going through my closet, going through this shit, and interview me and make it into something cool for YouTube or the internet. But that person has not arrived, and so here we are with a bootleg video, with a raspy voice and red eyes and an uncle on the couch and a boyfriend who's probably home by now. Thanks for listening. I love you. This is an experiment. If a bunch of weirdos comment, um, then I probably won't use this format, but it's worth trying. So, ciao for now. Still getting free. See you soon.